Eric is an eastern black rhino who was born here at the safari park 8 years ago. His parents were actually very prolific, and Eric was not recommended to breed because of his prolific family, and so this is an amazing opportunity that he could go to Tanzania, where he is recommended to breed with the female that they have there. We had a lot of work to do on our end to get Eric ready for this journey. He was on a very heavy grain and hay diet here, but there he's going to be browsing on plants in the wild. So we had to start transitioning him to that. So we transitioned him to a total browse diet here. And then also crate training was really important. He was going to have to travel for several days in this crate, and so he needed to be comfortable with it.
Target.
So for months, the team has actually been training him, and they made it a very positive experience. He got all his food, good scratches while he's in there, and then he became very comfortable with this. So then when it was time for him to go, and he got locked in that crate, he was very comfortable as he transported to Tanzania. So Eric really did have quite the journey from the safari park to get to Tanzania. We had to get on several different planes, several different trucks. So the trip was accompanied by myself, a veterinarian from Africa, and then also the caregiver that was actually going to be getting him settled into his new home in Africa. So he was very well cared for. And I can say that Eric was clearly the least stressed on the trip, and he did travel really well. There was quite the entourage awaiting us in Tanzania as we arrived at the airport. There were many, many different trucks, including 2 large crane trucks to help with the offload of Eric. And then we had a 2.5-hour drive from one location of the Serengeti to get to the Bomas, where Eric was actually going. So that was a slow trip, and all the while, it was a safari to get to where Eric was going, because there are zebras and antelope and lions and stuff on our trip on the way there. Ultimately, when we got to the location, it was dark, and there was about 40 people between staff that were interested in seeing this new rhino arrive, and then all the people that really needed to be part of the unload, getting this crate moved off of the truck and lined up to the Bomas, and then working to get Eric out of that crate, but then also folks to make sure that he was going to be safe every step of his journey. Eric settled in really well. We couldn't have been happier. The first day, of course, he was really nervous about his surroundings. You could hear him doing a lot of snorting, a lot of heavy breathing, meaning that he was kind of warning anybody around, not to mess with him. But then after just about a day, between myself and his new caregivers in Tanzania, hand feeding him, he became very comfortable, to the point where he became actually a fairly lazy rhino soon thereafter. Eric's acclimation to his new home in Tanzania is going to be a really slow and careful process. First, he'll go out into a small pen in the bush to see how he does eating the browse that's there. Then he'll get a slightly bigger area, several acres, ultimately working up to an area that's over 600 acres. Still is a contained area for the rhino and heavily guarded. I know that Eric is going to acclimate really well to his new home, and I have absolutely no concerns, and I'm so happy for him where he's at now.